1 dt from 0 to 4. So this is equal to 4. Hahanap tayo sa choices na kung saan mag-equate siya equal to 4 yung tong nasa left side. So try natin. Unahin natin yung una, letter A. So kiin muna natin yung function. We have 1 all over negative 0.4 v cubed. So alpha x cube pala. So this is from 60 going to, try natin yung letter A na 0.559. So siya ay, okay, so therefore mas ilapit sa 4. And so it's either letter A or letter D. Kasi meron pa tayong position. But unfortunately, iba yung position. Iba yung dalawang position. So therefore, hahanapin pa natin yan. Pero try lang natin yung yung pangalawa. Malay nyo. Baka siya ay mag-4 or exactly 4. So 0.595. Okay. Parehas kaya? Hindi. So malayo siya. So, letter A or letter D. So, kapag kukunin natin yung displacement, so ang gagawin lang natin, so V is equal to ds over dt. So, pero ang gagawin pa natin dito, hahanapin natin yung velocity as a function of time. So, therefore, alisin na lang natin yung limit dito. So, instead na 4 yung ilagay natin dito, t na lang. So, integral to v of dv over negative 0.4 v cubed is equal to, so this is ng dt. Okay? So, para makakuha tayo ng velocity as a function of time. So, factor out ko na si negative 0.4, 1 all over negative 0.4. So this will become dv over v cubed. So from your power formula, so that is 1 all over v raised to 2. Since negative yung exponent nasa baba, kailangan mo na po correction factor na 1 all over negative 2. So this is from 60 to v. That is equal to, so integral ng dt or 1 dt is t from 0 to t. Okay? Ayun lang natin to. Ayusin lang natin. 0.4 raised to negative 1 times 0.5. So, hindi ko nalalagay yung negative. So, that is 1.25 multiplied by the quantity. So, that is, yung mauna is yung upper limit minus lower limit. So, that is 1 all over v squared minus 1 all over 60 squared. That is equal to t minus 0 or that is t. Okay? So this will become 1.25 over v squared minus 1.25 all over 60 squared is equal to t. So in terms of v squared, so 1 or 1.25 v squared is equal to t plus 1.25 all over 60 squared. Yan. So, cross-multiply natin. So, this will become 1 all over v squared is equal to t plus 1.25 all over 60 squared all over 1.25. So, kapag kukunin natin yung reciprocal niyan para makuha natin yung v, so v is equal to the square root of, so i-reciprocal natin to. So, this will become 1.25 all over t plus 1.25 all over 60 squared. So, yan na yung v natin. Yan yung i-ano natin dito sa ating ds over dt. kasi V is equal to ds over dt. And by variable separable, so this will become square root of 1.25 all over t plus 1.25 over 60 squared dt is equal to ds. So integrating both sides, so this will become from at t equal to 0, nasa initial position pa lang siya. So that is s equal to 0. So at t equal to 4, ano kaya yung s? So s is equal to 1. So ito yung kompleto, yung sa may time domain. So yun yung integrate natin. So that is square root of 1.25 all over x plus 1.25 all over 60 squared. So this is from 0 to 4. Counting algebra lang dito. Kukuha na natin. Okay, so that is 4.43 meters. So that is approximately equal to letter D. So hindi letter A yung sagot, letter D po yung sagot. Yan po yung sagot. Kasi nakuha na natin yung 4.42. Yan ko na lang itong 105. Yan. Okay, pakipicture na lang po. Yan. Next, number 5. Okay, may ano na tayo, figure na tayo. A simply supported beam is 5 meters in length. Now, it carries a uniform distribution load. So as you can see, when we say uniformly distributed load, so rectangle lang siya na distributed load. So including its own weight, that is equal to 300 newtons per meter. So any concentrated load of P equal to, just you can see here at the left end, reaction A at the left and the reaction B at the right end. So ang hanapin natin is si RA at saka si RB. Yan yung hanapin natin. So since naka-distributed load pa ito, so gagawin natin dito, isi-simplify natin siya into its equivalent concentrated loading. So yung ating sa is that this will so that is 300 Newton meter multiplied by the length of the sakop niya. So that is times 5. Yan kasi yung sakop niya lahat. So that is equal to 1,500 Newton. So cancel si meter. And yung 1,500 Newtons na yan, this will act at the centroid of the area. So since rectangle siya, so sa gitna lang mismo ng ating rectangle. So dito siya mag-concentrate. So wala na to, ito na siya. Napalitan na ng equivalent na to. So this is 1,500 newtons. So since medyo magulo, ano lang natin yung figure. So ilang forces ang meron. So we have RA, we have your RB, we have your 100 newtons, so that is 2 meters on the left side. Then yung ating 1,500 newtons. So this will be acting on the 2.5, so centroid ng bar or ng beam. Hahanapin natin yung reaction. So since hahanapin natin yung reaction, sa pinakamadali ditong analyzation is by moment. Moment equation. So moment at A equal to 0. So lahat ng mga forces along A will be equated to 0. So wala na si RA, so makukuha natin si RB. So therefore, so from 100 Newton, 2 meters dito, so therefore this is 3 meters. So yung ating 100, ang kanyang lever arm, so that is 3 meters. So 100 lever arm, 3 meters. So positive or negative. So kapag counterclockwise, so positive. Kapag clockwise moment, so that is negative. So clockwise yan, negative. So dito, so papunta sa B, so or papunta sa A, I should say. Wait lang. Ayun, mali. 100 times yung lever arm natin papunta sa A, so that is 2. 2 dito. So that is positive, negative, papunta siya doon sa A, so that is negative kasi pa clockwise yung kanyang direction. So dito naman, sa ating 1,500, papunta rin clockwise direction. So minus 1,500 and the lever arm, distance from yung force going to A is 2.5. Then yung RB natin, so itataas natin si RB by principle of transmissibility. So papunta kay A, so that is counterclockwise. So paganyan siya. Ayan. So that is plus RB multiplied by the length or yung distance from A, so that is 5 equal to 0. So shift solve na lang natin to or by manipulation. So that is 100 times 2 plus 1,500 times 2.5 divided by 5. So that is 790. So RB is equal to 790 Newton. So, and that is letter B na kagad. So, para lang i-clarify natin na letter B talaga, kunin natin yung moment at B equal to 0. Summation of moments at B equal to 0. So, magsi-0 si RB. Si RA natin, so this is clockwise direction. Tataas natin yan. Then, papaikuti natin papunta kay B. So, that is negative. So, negative RA multiplied by lever arm. So, distance niya from B is equal to 5. Tapos, yung ating 1,500. So, that is in the clockwise direction or counterclockwise direction. So, that is positive. Plus 1,500 times 2.5 plus, kasi yung 100 natin counterclockwise direction rin, so that is 100 times 3 equal to 0. So, verify lang natin 1,500 times 2.5 plus 100 times 3 divided by 5. So, that is 810 yung reaction ni A. So, tama naman. So, this is letter B. Okay. Next, let's have, i-picturean nyo muna. And picture. Then, next, or screenshot. Screenshot. Let's have number 6. So, as you can see here, a car accelerates from initial velocity of 10 meters per second. The acceleration is increasing uniformly from 0 to 8 meters per second. So, ibig sabihin, nag-change ang acceleration. So, kapag nag-change yung acceleration, ang tawag dito is erratic motion. So, kapag erratic yung motion natin, kailangan nating i-graph yung AT curve, VT curve, or even yung ST curve natin para makasolve tayo ng mga changing acceleration problems. So, increasing uniformly from 0 to 8 meters in 6 seconds. So, during the next 2 seconds, nagbago na naman siya at a constant rate of 2 meters per second. Ngayon, Drawing natin siya. So we have initial velocity VI. So that is equal to 10 meters per second. 10 meters per second. Okay? So drawing natin yung AT curve. Ayan. So accelerates from initial velocity. So ibig sabihin, constant yung ating initial velocity at time t equal to 0. Ngayon, mag-increase na siya uniformly from time t equal to 0 going to 8 meters per second in 6 seconds. So that is from here. So increasing uniformly. So ibig sabihin, yung slope niya ay iisa. So linear yung slope. So that is from 0 going to 8 meters per second is squared. So that is a time t equal to 6 seconds. So during the next 2 seconds, bigla siyang nag-decelerate. So from here, 7 to 8 seconds, deceleration of 2. So kapag deceleration, that is negative 2 meters per second. Yan. Which of the following most nearly gives the velocity after 8 seconds? So from here, from the definition here, A is equal to derivative of B with respect to t. So that is A dt is equal to dv. So by integrating, so we determine that this integration is the area under VT curve or AT curve that is equal to the change in velocity. So therefore, makukuha natin yung final velocity dito. Kasi VF or final velocity minus V at time t equal to 0 is equal to the integrate or integral of the area under the AT curve from 0. So kung 0 dito hanggang dito rin, final time or time t. So, yan siya. So, ang velocity natin at time t equal to 8 is equal to the area under the AT curve. So, dito, area 1, we have also your area 2. Area 1 is a triangle. So, yung ating height is 8. And ating base is 6. So, that is 1/2 multiplied by 6 times 8. So, dito, sa area 2 natin, that is in the negative domain kasi nag-decelerate siya. So, minus yung area ng rectangle. So, that is from 6 to 8. 6 to 8 is, yung length niya is 2 multiplied by yung length dito sa ating width is equal to 2 also. And don't forget your initial. Kasi meron pa tayong initial dito. Yung final natin, V8. So, pa-plus lang natin yan. Transpose natin sa kabilang side. So, that is plus the initial velocity, which is 10. So, makukuha na natin yung V at time t equal to 8. That is erratic motion. So, 0.5 times 8 times 6 minus 2 times 2 plus 10. So, this is equal to 30 meters per second. Letter B. Okay, picture po. Next, we have number 7. Okay, the velocity of a particle is given by, so yung ating V as a function of t. So we have V is equal to 16t squared I in the x direction plus 4t cubed j in the y direction plus the quantity 5 plus t or 5t plus 2. Okay, so that is in the z direction where t is equal to seconds or the time. If the particle is at the origin, so at time t equal to 0, origin siya, meaning s is equal to 0. Reference point. Determine the magnitude of the particle's acceleration at time t equal to 2. So ano daw yung acceleration niya? Also, what is the xy coordinate position of the particle at this instant? So yung ating s. Unahin muna natin yung acceleration. So a is equal to derivative of b with respect to t. Ang gagawin lang natin dito is i-differentiate siya isa-isa. So derivative of 16t squared in the x direction with respect to t. So this is t equal to 2. So isa-isahin natin siya kasi iba-iba yung direction niya. So plus derivative of your function at y direction for t cubed at j direction to or y direction. So j at t equal to 2 seconds. So plus derivative with respect to t of 5t plus 2 in the z direction. So k ito. So when time t equal to 2. So isa-isahin na lang natin yan. So kaya naman ng calculator. Powers ng calculator natin. So shift integral 16t squared. So 16x squared. So at time t equal to lang nawala yung x. Yan. 16x squared at time t equal to 2. So this is 64. 64i. Tapos yung ating 40 cube. So this is equal to 48. So plus 48j plus 5p plus 2. So 5p plus 2. So 5x plus 2. So when p equal to 2 is 5. So therefore, magnitude of A is equal to the square root of 64 squared plus 48 squared plus 5 squared. So that is equal to 80.156 or dito sa choices, that is 80.2 meters per second squared. So it's either letter A or letter D again. So kukunin natin yung position vector ng ating function of V. So we define V is equal to ds over dt. So therefore, in terms of s, so that is s or ds is equal to, so integral, so v dt. Yan. Integrate lang natin si s. So kasi ang initial position naman niya, 0 to s, so this is s. So s is equal to integral of v dt. So integrate lang natin isa-isa. So s is equal to integral of 16t squared. So that is from 0 to 2 in the I direction plus integral of from 0 to 2 ng 40 cube dt in the j direction plus integral from 0 to 2 ng 5t plus 2 dt in the k direction. So, naka 3D kasi siya. Okay, integral 16x squared from 0 to 2. So that is 42.667. So, meron dito sa dalawa, 42.667, letter A na yung sagot. X pa lang yan, X direction. Tingnan natin sa Y direction, 42.7 ito. Plus yung ating J direction, dapat kung tama. So 40 cube. Ayan, 16. J. Plus yung ating Z direction, which is 5t plus 2. So 5x plus 2 plus 14. 14.7, 16, 14. Which is correct. Paki-picture na lang po. Part 1. Then part 2. Ayan. Letter A. Letter A po siya. Okay, number 8. A force of 400-pound force acts on a block at an angle of 30 degrees with the horizontal. The block pushed 5 feet horizontally. So therefore, ang final position na yan, so 5 feet yung kanyang displacement. So dito na siya after 5 feet. So what is the work done by this force? So work is equal to the force times the distance it's traveled. So dito, sa ating force, however, is naka-incline siya or merong certain angle. So, dito, i-breakdown natin to into components kasi yung ating isang component dito ay walang kinalaman sa work. Kasi ang galaw lang naman ng position is horizontal. So, we will consider only horizontal component. Kasi yan yung work. So, work is equal to the force times the distance covered. So, yung force, tapos yung kinover niyang distance. So, the value is equal to 400. So, ano tong fx natin dito or px natin? So, that is 400 cosine of 30 multiplied by 5 feet. So, this is pound feet. Pound force feet. So 400 cosine of 30 times 5. So this is 1,732. 1,732.05 pound force. Pound force feet. So in 1 pound force feet, so this is equal to 1.356 joules. So always remember this conversion. Yan. So i-multiply natin yung 1,732.05 pound force feet multiplied by in 1.356 joule, there are 1 pound force feet. So kakancel yung pound force feet. So times natin ng 1.356. So this is equal to 2,348. And that is approximately equal to 2,350 joules. Letter D. Letter D po siya. Okay. Next. Number 9, it is defined at which change or tense the state or the motion of the body. That is force. So kapag nagmo-move yung body, nag-change yung state ng motion, nagbago yung displacement. Kapag meron tayong force, nagmo-move yung body or nagbabago rin yung acceleration eventually. Or kung hindi man, constant speed, nagbabago pa rin yung displacement. So that is force. Number 10. It is the distance away from the axis that all the area can be concentrated to result in the same moment of inertia. So this is the radius of gyration. Letter D. Radius of gyration pa. Yung radius of curvature that is on the movement of the body or the particle or the object along a straight path or curve, I should say, curve path po. So for the radius of gyration, so that is associated with moment of inertia. So mag-i-equal siya do sa ating mass moment of inertia. Okay. Kapag yun yung ginamit rin. Makikita natin mamaya yan, may mga sample problems tayo dyan. Number 11, a stone is thrown with an initial velocity of 100 feet per second upward to the horizontal. So, meron tayong projectile. So, with the horizontal, so drawing ko na lang, wala tayong figure. So, dito. Yan. So, ang initial niya is equal to 100 feet per second. So, yung ating angle dito is 60 degrees. Now, compute the velocity of the stone when it is 50 feet horizontally from its position. So, at x is equal to 50 feet, ano na daw to? So, that is Vy, this is Vx. Ano daw yung velocity? And take note, ang nagbabago-bago lang dito is yung Vy. Yung Vx, that is constant, horizontal velocity. Ngayon, so this will be, or pwede itong gamitan ng, pwede siguro itong gamitan ng general equation of the projectile. So y is equal to x tangent theta, kasi kulang yung mga details natin, minus 9 or g times x squared all over dito 2 times v o x, or that is v squared multiplied by cosine theta squared, cosine squared theta. Pares rin. Yan. So, kunin muna natin yung y dito. So, y is equal to, so 50 tangent of 60 minus yung g natin. So, since this is in English, so that is 32.2 multiplied by yung ating x, which is 50 squared all over 2 times yung velocity natin, which is 100 squared cosine of 60, the quantity squared. Ayan. So, makukuha na natin yung y. Para meron pa tayong isang given. Para magamit natin yung iba. So, 50 tangent 60 minus 32.2 times 50 squared all over 2 times 100 squared cosine of, or cosine 60, the quantity squared. So, your y here is 70.50 feet. So, pwede natin gamitin yung final velocity squared is equal to VO squared minus 2GY. Since this is a projectile, minus dito. Free fall kasi rin yan. So, final velocity, VF, is equal to square root of yung ating initial velocity. So, initial velocity in the y direction ito, VOY. Kasi y dito. So, that is 100 sine of 60, the quantity squared, minus yung ating 2 times the gravitational acceleration, 32.2 times yung ating y na 70.5. So, makukuha na natin yung ating final velocity in the y direction. So, square root ng 100 sine 60 squared minus 2 times 32.2 times yung answer natin kanina. Sobra siya ng isa. So, this is equal to 54.403. 54.403 feet per second. Okay. So, yun yung ating Vy. So, hanapin natin ngayon yung Vx. So, Vx is 100 cosine of 60. So, hindi siya nagbabago from the start until the end. So, yan po yung Vx natin. So that is 100 cosine 60. So 50. So therefore, V now is equal to the square root of Vx squared plus Vy squared. So yung mga components ng ating velocity. So square root ng 50 squared plus yung ating 54.403. Yun kasi nagbabago yung y. So which is equal to 73.889 or 73.89 feet per second. Which is actually letter D. Dog. Pakipicturean po. Yan po. Ito. Okay, let's. Okay, number 12. The car starts from rest at S is equal to 0. So T is equal to 0. S is equal to 0. So from rest, so that is V is equal to 0. And increases its speed at tangential acceleration, AT, is equal to 4 meters per second squared. So determine the time T. So T. When the magnitude of the acceleration, so given yung magnitude ng acceleration, so it becomes 20 meters per second squared. And the radius of the curvature of the road is equal to 40 meters. So at what position does this S occur? So at time T equal to a certain time, hahanapin rin natin yung position niya. Okay. So here, okay, so ang ating pinaka-given lang dito is yung tangential acceleration. So ano ba yung mga components ng acceleration when it comes to curvilinear motion? We have acceleration is equal to the square root of AT squared plus the normal acceleration squared. Okay. Tangential acceleration, it is the acceleration due to the object's movement or yung motion niya. While as yung normal acceleration, so that is the acceleration with respect to the path. So kung curve ba yung path natin, so meron tayong normal acceleration. So yan. Okay, so ano ba yung normal acceleration natin? So that is V squared or the velocity squared all over the radius of curvature. Now, given yung ating magnitude, so therefore we can say that 20 is equal to the square root of 80, which is 4 squared plus yung velocity natin, velocity squared all over yung rho natin, which is 40, the quantity squared. So makukuha na natin yung velocity dito. And your velocity here is equal to, so shift solve na natin, 20 squared is equal to square root of, so wala na square root dyan kasi sa squared na yan. So 4 squared plus x squared all over 40, the quantity squared. So shift solve, so this is 28 meters per second. So ngayon, i-ano natin dito, since time yung hinahanap, so we will consider your tangential acceleration. So at your tangential acceleration, A sub t is equal to 4 meters per second squared. So therefore, so equation of motions, so we have Bf is equal to Vo plus AT. AT sub t times t. 8 sub t times t. So that is 28 yung ating final. So that is equal to initial. So starts from rest 0 plus yung ating tangential acceleration na 4 times t. So t is equal to 7 seconds. So from here, that is letter A and letter C. Tingnan natin kung ano yung S pa natin. So by using the formula, Vf squared is equal to Vo squared plus 2 times A times sub T. So, tangential acceleration times yung ating displacement. So, therefore, 28 squared is equal to 0 squared plus 2 times yung ating tangential acceleration na 4 multiplied by s. So, s is equal to 28 squared all over 2 times 4, which is equal to 98 meters. Letter C. So, letter C po yan. I-screenshot na lang. First part, then second part. Okay. Let's have number 13. A flywheel is rotating at the rate of 150 revolutions per minute. Determine through how many radians does it turns in 5 minutes. So therefore, omega is equal to 150 revolutions per minute. So this is a matter of conversion lang. So that is 2 pi rad. So radians kasi yung hinahanap all over 1 revolution. Yan, conversion. So may times tayo ng 5 minutes para makuha natin yung total number of radians na inikot niya sa loob ng 5 minuto. 5 times 150 times 2 pi. So that is 1,500 pi radians. So this is letter A. Okay, next, number 14. So here, a man can exert a maximum pull of so meron dito ang pull ng man. Ayun na lang natin. So ito yung pag exert niya ng force dun sa lever. So that is 1,000 newtons, but wishes to lift a new stone for his cave. Cave man siguro to. So weighing 20,000 newtons. So itong cave, stone na to. So this is 20,000 newton. So uses a lever, how much closer must the fulcrum? So yung fulcrum natin ito. So this is the fulcrum. Be to the stone that than to his hands. So yun yung tinatanong. Ngayon, so i-ano lang natin, simple mas kasi ito. So pwede natin siyang gamitan ng moment. So dito 20,000 newtons. This is 1,000 newtons. So ilan daw yung distance niya dito from the fulcrum? So let's call this as XS, or yung ating distance from the stone to the fulcrum. And yung XM natin, yan yung distance ng man dun sa fulcrum. So therefore, since meron dito reaction, so eradicate na lang natin yan. So using moment equation, moment at the fulcrum equal to 0. So therefore, we can say that 20,000. So since positive yung ating counterclockwise, negative yung clockwise, so itong 20,000 ay pa-counterclockwise going to the fulcrum. So positive times yung lever arm natin na XS. Then, yung ating XM, so that is in the clockwise direction, so negative. So minus 1,000 multiplied by the lever arm, which is XM. That is equal to 0. So therefore, so that is 1,000 XM is equal to 20,000 XS, or yung stone. So therefore, in terms of the man, so XM now is equal to 20 times meter. So 20 XS or 20 times meter siya dapat. So 20 times meter sa fulcrum. So that is letter D. In terms kasi sa sa man, papunta sa hand. Okay. So let's have number 15. The particle with a constant speed So constant yung speed niya. So therefore yung acceleration due to the particle is 0. So constant speed v is equal to 300 mm per second along the curve. So given yung track ng curve which is equal to y is equal to 20 times 10 raised to 3 all over x. Determine the particle's acceleration when it is located at, so ilo-locate daw natin siya at 200, 100. So this is x and y. Yan. So constant speed, so constant yung acceleration. Acceleration ng object. So that is a sub t is equal to 0. Okay? So no, since this is a curvilinear motion, kailangan natin ng a sub n. So a sub n now here is equal to v squared all over rho. Kasi curvilinear kaya may normal, ano tayo? Normal component ng acceleration. Okay, so we are going to find now your radius of curvature. Your radius of curvature from your differential calculus is equal to 1 plus y prime squared raised to 3 halves or 1.5 all over the absolute value of y double prime. Ngayon, so pwede na nating gamitan na lang yan ng ng calculator technique. So therefore, key-in lang natin yung function. So that is 20 times yung ating 10 raised to 3 all over x. So this is the first derivative. So kailan daw siya magkaganyan? So this is at x equal to 20 or 200 I should say. So x is equal to 200. So basing on the problem. So that is negative 0.5. So paano natin kukunin yung y double prime? So store natin to kay a. So magpa-plus tayo ng small number dito. So that is plus tayo ng 0.000. So apat na 0 tapos 1. So store na lang natin kay b. So shift store b. Store na ba natin yung isa kay a? Hindi pa. So ito store natin kay a. Yan. Then yung b. So b minus a tayo. B minus a all over yung plinas natin. So b minus a all over yung plinas natin. That is the y double prime. So apat na 0 tapos 1. So that is 5 times 10 raised to negative 3. So 5 times 10 raised to negative 3. So therefore, yung rho natin, so substituting the formula, so that is 1 plus, ano natin dito, second derivative. Store na lang natin to kay c. Para hindi na tayo magta-type. So that is 1 plus yung ating first derivative squared raised to 1.5 all over absolute value ng y double prime which is yung c, which is equal to 279.494 to 79.494. Yan. So makukuha na natin yung a sub n. A sub n now is equal to 300 squared all over yung ating rho, which is 279.494. Therefore, a sub n now is 1. So 300 squared all over yung answer. So 322 mm per second squared. So therefore, what is a? So that is square root ng a t squared plus an squared. So but this is 0. So therefore, a is equal to square root ng a sub n squared. So cancel. So therefore, this is also your normal acceleration, or that is the magnitude of your acceleration, 322 meters per millimeters per second squared. Letter A. Picture nyo po. So, bakit 0 yung tangential? Kasi constant speed. So, ito lang naman yung may kinalaman sa particle itself. Motion ng particle. So, motion ng particle, whether curvilinear or rectilinear. Pero kung siya ay curvilinear, meron na siyang normal. Due to the curve naman yan. Okay. So, next, number 16. The brakes of the car, whose initial velocity, so VI now is 30 meters per second, and your acceleration or deceleration, so deceleration is negative 2 meters per second squared. So your VF now is equal to 15 meters per second. So ang hinahanap is yung distance, so S. So using your formula, so siguro para hindi matamaan, nag-decelerate siya. Okay, so that is VF squared is equal to VI squared plus 2AS. Okay, so substituting, so that is 15 squared is equal to 30 squared plus 2 times deceleration of negative 2 multiplied by S. So shift solve na lang to. So that is 15 squared minus 30 squared divided by negative 4. So this is equal to 168.75 meters. So marami pa yung kanyang nilakbay. Okay? So next, number 17. The mass of a certain object is 10 grams. What would be the mass when it takes to the moon? So ang nag-iiba lang naman, so kapag sa Earth, yung weight natin sa Earth, so Earth weight is not equal to the moon's weight. So yung weight natin sa moon hindi parehas. So due to the gravitational pull. So dito sa moon, mahina yung gravity. So therefore, yung hindi magbabago dyan is yung mass. So yung mass ng object, mass sa Earth, is equal to mass sa moon. Yun lang yung hindi magbabago. So therefore, kapag 10 grams yung certain object, mass niya, so therefore 10 grams rin. Kasi yung pinaka-quantity ng mga molecules yung sinasabi dito sa ating mass. Letter C. Next, number 18. A ballast bag is dropped from a balloon that is 300 meters above the ground. So, binaba mo to itong kilogram na to. So, kapag pinutol nyo yung tali, so since tumataas yung ating balloon, so it will follow yung ito, follow niya muna, then suddenly, magfo-fall na siya. Yan. So, yan yung ating phenomenon dito. So, since tumataas yung previous na pinag-anuhan niya. So, gagayahin niya muna yung pinanggalingan niya, then suddenly, magda-drop na siya. So, dito, ang sagot is your height from the ground plus yung height na itong tinaas niya. So, therefore, this is capital H. Itong H na to. So, that is equal to 300 plus your H. So, alin na lang natin, gamitan na lang natin ang formula. VF squared is equal to VO squared plus so since yung natin free fall ay negative. So, pataas kasi siya. So, that is minus 2GH or 2G, tama, 2GH. So, therefore, that is 0. Yung pinaka-top dito, magsisiro muna yung accelerate or yung velocity that is equal to yung initial velocity, which is 11 minus 2 times 9.81 times yung ating h. What is h equal to? Yan yung itataas niya. So 11 squared all over 2 times 9.81. Ito yung itataas niya. So that is 6.167 meters. So therefore, h now will be equal to 306.167. Letter A. Next. Number 19. A projectile with a muzzle velocity. So muzzle velocity of 500 meters per second. So meron tayong projectile. Is fired from a gun at top of the cliff. So nasa taas ng cliff. 420 feet or 420 meters above sea level. Yan. If the projectile hits the water surface 50 seconds after it's fired, determine the horizontal range at time t equal to 50. Parang ganun yung sinasabi niya. So t equal to 50, ano na daw tong x na to? So yan. So therefore, ang gagamitin na lang natin is yung general equation of the parabola. So hanapin muna natin kasi dito yung angle ng pagbato, angle of release. So therefore, so that is y is equal to x tangent ng theta minus gx squared all over 2 times VO squared cosine of theta squared. So pwede yan, pwede rin yung ating in terms of y. So that is y is equal to VOY times yung ating time, VOYT minus 1/2 GT squared. Pwede rin ito. So, ngayon natin, para mas madali, itong pangalawa na lang. So that is negative 420 is equal to VOY. So yung VOY natin is 500. So in y component, so that is sin theta. So kunin natin yung theta muna dito times 50 minus 1/2 times 9.81 times 50 squared. So ano yung theta natin? So shift solve na lang to. So negative 420 is equal to 500 sin x or sin x times 50 minus 0.5 times 9.81 times 50 squared. So shift solve tayo. Solve for x and that is 28.275. So therefore, yung x natin is yung ano lang, VOX times yung ating time. Yan. So that is equal to V times cosine theta times yung ating t. So meron naman na yung ating theta eh. So that is 500 cosine of yung ating 28.275 times yung ating time, which is equal to 50. Makukuha na natin yung x component ng distance. So that is 500 cosine of the answer times 50. So that is in kilometers na lang. So that is 22.02 kilometers. Letter D. Yan, letter D po yung sagot. Next. Okay. Number 20. So if the coefficient of kinetic friction between the 50 kilogram crate and the ground is mu k, so mu k is equal to 0.3. Determine the distance of the crate, travels, and its velocity. So, velocity ng crate at t equal to 3 and yung ating displacement at t equal to 3. So, the crate starts from rest. So, at time t equal to 0, yung ating v is equal to 0. S is from the reference point, 0. And P is equal to 200 newtons with an angle of 30 degrees. So, ito. So, dito, meron tayong mga components. So, since yung ating force ay naka-incline, so this is 200 cosine of 30. This is 200 sine of 30. Yan yung ating mga components ng force. Ano pa yung mga forces natin? We have also the weight. Pababa yung weight. So that is 50 times yung ating gravitational pull. So which is equal to 9.81. So yan yung weight. And we have also your normal force. Normal force. And we have also your since meron siyang kinetic friction coefficient, so meron tayong friction, FF. Yan. Wherein FF is equal to mu K, coefficient of kinetic friction times the normal force. Normal force ng ating crate. So, summation of forces equal to 0. So, equilibrium muna tayo. So, that is pataas yung N. So, minus yung ating weight, which is 50 times 9.81. Multiply, plus yung ating 200 sine 30. Pataas kasi yung ating component na yan. 200 sine 30. And this is equal to 0. So, therefore, so that N is equal to 50 times 9.81. So, transpose natin yung 200 sine 30. So, minus 200 sine 30. So, which is equal to 390.5 newtons. So, therefore, summation of your x equal to 0. So, since meron tayong movement ng ating object, so ibig sabihin meron tayong tinatawag na REF or reverse effective force. So, therefore, that is on the horizontal kasi yun yung ina-affect na-affect ng ating motion. So that is 200 cosine 30 minus yung ating friction force, so FF, minus yung ating REF is equal to 0. Okay. So 200 cosine 30 minus FF is 0.3 multiplied by 390.5. So, yun yung normal force minus REF. What is REF? Mass times the acceleration of the crate. So, mass ng crate is 50 times the acceleration is equal to 0. So, makukuha na natin yung acceleration dito by shift solve. So, that is 200 cosine 30 minus 0.3 times 390.5. So, equals divided by 50. So, 1.121 meters per second squared. So, yan pa lang po yung acceleration natin. So, let's go to the velocity. So, at time t equal to 3, so therefore, VF is equal to VO plus AT. So, yung VF natin, yan yung hinahanap. Yung VO starts from rest. So, 0 plus yung ating A. So, 1.121 times yung ating time na 3. So, 121 times 3. Which is equal to 3.36 meters per second. So, dito, letter A or letter B, try pa natin yung ating S. So since siya ay starting from the origin, so S now is equal to SO plus VOT plus 1/2 AT squared. So 0 naman to, initial position 0. So therefore that is S is equal to VO, initial velocity 0 plus 1/2 times 1.121 times yung ating time squared. So that is 0.5 times 1.121 times 3 squared, which is equal to 5.04 meters. So that is letter B. Yeah. Next, number 21. A 0.25 moving ball. So, meron tayong bola. In the x direction at 13 meters per second is hit by a bat. So, meron tayong bola tapos na tamaan ng baseball bat. Yan. So, dito, syempre, ang tendency niyan is mag-iba ng direction. So, from the x direction, siguro yung bat ay nilis niya ng direction. So, its final direction or final velocity now, so this is your VF, 19 meters per second in the negative x direction or in the other direction. So, this is your VI. The bat acts on the ball for 0.01 second. Now, find the average force exerted on the ball by the bat. So, this is by impulse momentum. So, wherein impulse, Ft, is equal to the change in momentum. So, ano naman to, hindi naman siya nag-stick. So, therefore, mv minus mv lang to. So, that is F multiplied by yung time natin, which is 0.01. That is equal to the mass of the mass of the ball. So, that is 0.25 times yung ating velocity, final velocity, negative 19. Bakit negative 19? In the x direction. Kasi yung ating momentum is mv yan. So, final minus initial. So, final ito, minus 0.25 times yung initial, which is in the positive x direction. So, positive 13 lang. So, therefore, F now is equal to what? So, 0.25 times negative 19 minus 0.25 times 13 divided by 0.01. So, which is equal to negative 0.8 kilonewtons. Letter D. Yan kasi yung pinaka-force after. Number 22. So, rotational, ano na to? Motion. So, a wheel of mass. So, ito yung mass natin, 6 kilograms and a radius of gyration. Ito yung K natin, radius of gyration, yung 40 cm, is rotating at 300 revolutions per minute. So, find the moment of inertia and its rotational kinetic energy. So, given radius of gyration, ito lang yung pinaka-general formula. So, given radius of gyration, that is equal to mk squared. So, I is equal to 6 kilograms multiplied by the radius of gyration, which is 40 over 100, the quantity squared. So, this is meters. So, kilogram meter squared po yan. So, 6 times 0.4 squared. So, this is equal to 0.96 kilogram meter squared. So, it's either letter C or letter D. Kunin pa natin yung rotational kinetic energy. Rotational kinetic energy, so kapag in terms of momentum, yung moment of inertia and its angular velocity. So this is equal to 1/2 I multiplied by omega squared. So wherein omega is in radians per second. So tingnan natin kung ano magiging unit yan. So 1/2 times, okay, 0.96 kilogram meter squared multiplied by yung ating rotation, which is 300 revolutions per minute. So times natin ng 2 pi radians all over 1 revolution multiplied by 1 minute 60 seconds. So mangyayari dito is magiging radians per second na lang ito. And yung ano natin, radians natin is considered as unitless. Miski wag mo nang ilagay ito. Unitless rin yan. Okay, so magiging per square seconds. Ito. Try lang natin yung unit. Yan. Analyze natin. So that is 0.96 times 300 times 2 pi over 60. So ito, tong 300 na to naka quantity squared. Squared. So that is 947.48. So kilogram meter per second squared is Newton. May natira pa tayong isang meter dito. So Newton meter is joule na yan. So therefore, rotational kinetic energy is in joules, or that is in kilojoule. That is 0.95 joules. Or that is letter D. Okay. So let's have number 23. Ito pa yung pinagkaiba ng radius, actual radius and the radius of variation. So kapag actual radius kasi yung gagamitin natin sa moment of inertia, may kanya-kanya tayong formula. Like for the sphere, ang mass moment of inertia niyan is equal to I is equal to 2/5 mass times the radius of the sphere. So radius of sphere, ito Pero whereas kapag radius of variation, so I is equal to mk squared lang. So yan lang yung formula for radius of variation. Mag-isa lang siya. So therefore, kunin natin yung radius of variation. So since dito k dito, tapos yung m, okay, ano na lang natin? Solve na lang natin yung I. So 2/5 times yung ating mass ng sphere, which is 500 grams, so that is 0.5 kilograms, multiplied by 7/100, the quantity squared. So your I now will be equal to what? 2/5, 2/5, multiplied by 0.5 times 7/100, quantity squared. So which is equal to 9.8 times 10 raised to negative 4 kilogram meter squared. So this is equal to the mass times the radius of variation, the quantity squared. So divide natin yung mass. So K now is the square root of yung 9.8 times 10 raised to negative 4 all over yung mass na 0.5. So makakancel yung kilogram, matitira is a unit of distance or the length. So that is square root of the answer divided by 0.5. So this is in meters. So 0.044. So times natin ng 100 para maging centimeter. 4.4 centimeters. Letter B. Okay. Number 24. A ball is thrown from the top of the building. So, toward the tall building 50 meters away. So, the initial velocity is 20 meters per second. So, nandito sa figure, 40 degrees above the horizontal. How far above or below its original level will the ball strike the opposite wall? So, from the figure alone, this is below. So, it's either A or B lang yan. So, plus yung ating general equation of the parabola kasi wala namang time. So, y is equal to x tangent theta minus gx squared all over 2v cosine squared theta. So, that is by GEP. That is equal to 50. Doon kasi siya magsa-strike. So, 50 times tangent of 40 minus 9.81 multiplied by x, which is 50 squared, all over 2 times yung ating velocity, which is 20 squared cosine squared ng 40. So, y is equal to what? So, 50 tangent 40 minus 9.81 times 50 squared all over 2 times 20 squared cosine squared. So, cosine 40 the quantity squared. So, that is negative 10.28 meters. So, therefore, yung negative dito will tell us this is below your reference point, which is yung building, top ng building. Letter A. Okay. Next, number 25. A stationary passenger of a train is set into motion by the impact of the moving locomotive. What is the impulse delivered to the car if it has a velocity of 11 meters per second immediately after the collision? So, VF here is equal to 11 meters per second. So, since siya ay stationary, VI is equal to 0. The weight of the car is weight ng car is 58 or 56.8 kilonewtons. So, therefore, ang hinahanap dito is yung impulse. So, impulse momentum equation, which is impulse is equal to the change in momentum or change in mass times velocity. So, therefore, dito, so that is impulse that is equal to, so anong klaseng collision to? So, hindi naman siya nag-stick dun sa wala namang sinabing ganun. So, therefore, this is mass times velocity 2 minus velocity 1. Hindi naman siya dumikit or hindi sila naging isa. Hindi nag-combine yung dalawang masses nila. So, mass of the car is 56.8 kilo divided by the gravitational pull. So, that is 9.81. So, meters per second squared. So, this is Newton. Multiplied by 11. Yung final minus 0. This is in meters per second. So, meters per second, cancel. Tataas yung isang second dito, kaya kilonewton second. So, this is equal to 56.8 divided by 9.81 times 11. So, this is equal to 63.69, 63.7 kilonewton second. Letter C. Okay. Next, if the moment of inertia of a body along a perpendicular axis passing through its center of gravity, so as you can see in the figure, so meron tayong infinitesimal object. So, kahit anong object. So, ito yung center of, center of gravity, which is 50 kilogram meters squared. And the mass of the body is 30 kilogram. So, mass niya is 30 kilogram. What is the moment of inertia? So, which is, so yung ating distance from the center of gravity is 50 cm away from the current axis and parallel to it. So, parallel yung axis na to sa axis na to. Yan. So, this is parallel axis theorem. Kapag ganyan. Okay, so that is I is equal to yung ating moment of inertia in the centroid plus yung ating mass times the distance from the centroidal axis to the reference itself. So that is times h squared. So that is equal to 50 kilograms times or kilogram meter squared plus yung mass natin na 30 multiplied by 50 cm. So 50 over 100 meters. So this is the quantity squared. So kilogram rin ito. So tama lang yung unit. So 50 plus 30 times 50 all over 100, the quantity squared, which is equal to 57.5 kilogram meters squared. Number 27. The actual mechanical advantage of the machine. So this is under simple machine. AMA is equal to what? So AMA is known as the force ratio. So where in AMA is the actual mechanical advantage that is equal to the force exerted on load all over force used to operate the machine. Yan yung actual mechanical advantage. Meron naman tayong tinatawag na IMA. So IMA is ideal mechanical advantage. And this is known to be as the distance ratio. Distance over distance. So this is equal to distance moved by input force. So distance by input force all over distance moved by the load. Yan yung ating IMA. So, efficiency of your simple machine can be calculated as output over input. Pwedeng power, pwedeng work, pwede rin actual mechanical advantage all over ideal mechanical advantage. That is your efficiency. Additional information. Number 28, an 8.0 gram bullet is fired horizontally into a 9 kilograms of or cube of wood, which is at rest. So V equal to 0 to. VF or VI is equal to 0. And sticks on it. So ibig sabihin yung mass ng bullet at saka ng mass ng wood nag-combine after collision. So therefore, MV or momentum before is equal to momentum after. So by the conservation of momentum. So therefore, Mass of the bullet times velocity of the bullet plus mass of the wood times velocity of the wood is equal to the mass nilang dalawa after collision. So therefore, since nag-stick yung bullet dun sa wood, so that is MB or mass of the bullet plus mass of the wood is taken as 1 multiplied by yung ating final velocity ng dalawa. So, ang hinahanap is initial velocity or yung VB natin dito. So, that is 8 all over 1,000 in kilo kasi ito. So, times VP plus yung ating mass of the wood times yung ating velocity. So, starts from rest. So, 0. That is equal to mass ng bullet which is 8 over 1,000 plus yung ating mass ng ating wood which is 9 kilograms multiplied by the final velocity. So, nag-move pa yung cube after impact. So, that is 40 all over 100 cm per second kasi. So, by shift solve, makasolve na natin yung VB. So, that is 8 all over 1,000 x. So, 0 na yung 0 times 9 multiply is equal to 8 over 1,000 plus 9 multiplied by 40 over 100. So, shift solve. Dito. Yan. So, parehas na siguro yan. So, solve for x. 450.4 meters per second. So, in kilometers, this is 0.45 kilometers per second. This is positive. Kasi sinundan niya yung ng block. So, nagpaganon na rin yung ating cube ng wood. Hindi siya nagpaganito. Kapag nagpa other direction siya, so yan na. That is negative. Letter B. Okay. Number 29. A projectile with a initial velocity V. So, yung V natin dito is 305 meters per second is fired 25 degrees up a hill. So, para siyang nasa golf course, inclined 15 degrees. Now, find the range along the incline. So, we have here direct formula. So, R is equal to 2 times VO squared sine theta cosine of theta plus beta all over G cosine of beta, wherein theta is the angle of release ng projectile and yung beta natin is yung inclination. So, direct substitution, R is equal to 2 times 305 squared times cos or sine theta, sine of 25, cosine of 25 plus 15 all over. So, 9.81 multiplied by cosine of beta, which is 15 degrees. So, R would be equal to 1. So, ano yun na lang natin? So, 2 times 305 squared times sine of 25 times cosine of 25 plus 15 all over 9.81 times cosine of cosine squared pala to. Sorry. Paki-take note po dyan. Kulang yung formula na lagay. So, cosine of 15, the quantity squared, So this is equal to 6,580.749. 6,580.75 meters. This is letter D. Dog. Okay. Next, number 30. A catapult is used to launch a ball such that it strikes the wall of the building at the maximum height of its trajectory. So yung dito, hindi siya nasa level ground, kundi meron pa siyang elevation na 3.5 feet. Yung catapult natin, then magsa-strike siya. And 18 feet from the wall. So 18 feet from the wall. If it will take 1.5 seconds to travel from A to B, determine the angle of release. Angle of release which it was launched and the height h. So at t equal to 1.5, so na-reach niya na yung B. So x is equal to 18 feet. Tama. Horizontal component. So that is, so x is equal to v cosine of theta times yung time natin. Okay, so therefore, 18 is equal to v, so which is unknown. Cosine of theta multiplied by 1.5. So in terms of v and cosine theta, so that is 18 over 1.5 cosine theta is equal to v. This is equation number 1. Yeah. Equation 1. The next other equation para makakuha tayo ng mga equation. Another one is yung ating final velocity and initial velocity. So Vfy, so in the y direction, is equal to initial velocity in the y direction minus gt. Okay? So equation of motion yan. So therefore, nung nag-strike dito, so yung ating Vfy is 0. Kasi nag-strike na siya, hindi na siya makagalaw. So that is 0 is equal to V sin theta. Yan yung ating initial velocity in the y direction minus 32.2 times 1.5. So substituting equation 1 to the given equation, so 0 is equal to V multiplied by 18 over 1.5. So therefore, this is sine. So, wala na yung V natin kasi yun yung value. Wala tayong eraser. Yan. So that is 18 over 1.5 cosine dito sa baba, tapos sine sa taas. So sine over cosine is tangent theta minus 32.2 times 1.5. So makukuha na natin yung angle of release which is equal to what? So 18 all over or 18 over 1.5 times tangent x is minus 32.2 times 1.5 is equal to 0. So what is theta equal to? Dapat ano lang siya. Tangent theta minus 32.2 times 1.5 equal to 0. So dapat acute angle lang. Yan, 76.047. So kumuha kasi siya sa sa other direction. Yan. So yan, yan siya. Okay? So kunin natin yung V. So V is equal to 18 all over 1.5 times cosine ng ating angle na 76.048. Kukuha na natin yung velocity. So velocity is equal to 18 over 1.5 cosine of the answer, which is 49.77. So this is in feet per second. Yan yung initial velocity. So kunin natin yung yung taas. Yun kasi hinahanap pa. So 76. So it's either letter B or letter D. Tingnan natin kung anong sagot dyan. So that is pwedeng equation or general equation of the projectile. Pwede rin yung VF and VI squared. So that is, ano na lang natin, VF at VI. So that is VF squared is equal to VI squared. So this is in the Y direction. Minus 2 times yung ating gravitational acceleration times yung displacement. So since hindi siya nasa reference, so this is S minus yung ating or level na 3.5. So this is VF, Y is equal to 0. That is equal to 49.77 sine of yung 76.048 na quantity squared. Yan yung ating VIY minus 2 times 32.2 multiplied by S minus 3.5. So makukuha na natin yung displacement or the height. So 0 is equal to 49.77 sine of 76.048. So this is the quantity squared minus 2 times 32.2 times yung ating unknown S or H minus 3.5. So this is 39.73 feet. So pwede rin yung yung general equation of the projectile. Letter D. D yung sagot. Yan. Next, number 31. It is this total work done by the applied force and the inertial forces of a mechanical system as it moves through a set of virtual displacements and the total work done by the applied forces. Ito po yung keywords natin. This is letter B, virtual work. Okay. Next, number 32. It is the measure of the amount of work a conservative force will do. So, from a given position to the datum. When we say datum, this is the reference line. So, this is potential energy. Letter D. Okay. Next. Number 33. A 10 kilogram block was dropped 4 meters high. So, nandito yung block natin, tapos ito yung level ground, and this is 4 meters. Yung kanyang velocity pababa. What is the velocity upon reaching the ground? So, ano daw yung velocity kapag masa-strike na siya sa ground? So, this is equal to VF squared is equal to VI squared plus 2AS. Bakit ito yung ginamit ko? May final, may initial. Meron tayong displacement, meron tayong gravitational acceleration. So wala tayong time kasi, kaya ito yung ginamit natin. So therefore, this is 0. VF is equal to VI. So na-drop siya, so ibig sabihin from rest. So this is 0 squared plus 2 times 9.81 times 4. Bakit positive? Kasi pababa. So VF is equal to 1. Nag-accelerate siya kapag pababa yung motion. So 0 times or plus 2 times 9.81 times 4. So this is equal to 8.85. meters per second. Letter B, or 8.86. Ito lang naman yung malapit. Number 34, we have, what is the branch of mechanics refers to the study of rigid bodies with reference. So, meron tayong with reference to the force that causes the motion. With reference to the force, this is kinetics. Letter B. Okay, number 35. A block weighing 500 kilonewtons rests on a drum inclined at 25 degrees with the horizontal. Meron tayo dito 25 degrees na inclined plane. So, with the horizontal, the force tending to move the block down. So, ito yung force na yon. So, ano daw yung force na yun? So, dito, yung weight natin, so meron tayong dalawang components niyan kasi meron naka-incline yung plane natin. So, we have this W, magiging ano siya, i-break natin siya into two components which is normal to the plane. So, this is WY and yung parallel to the plane which is WX. And yun yung magsislip dito. So, this is due to the WX. So, therefore, F now, so from your free body diagram, that is equal to WX, which is equal to 500 times sine. So, ito yung 25 degrees natin dito. Sa taas. So, WX is opposite. So, that is sine of 25. So, this is equal to what? 500 sine of 25. 211.31. 211.31 kilonewton. Letter B. Okay. Number 36. A ball is thrown vertically upward from the ground and a student gazing out of the window sees it moving upward past him at 5 meters per second. So, nung nasa window na daw siya, ang velocity ng ating ball, so, di ba yung ball natin is galing sa ground papataas. Yan, until such time na ma-reach na yung window, and that is 5 meters per second at the instant na na-reach na yung window. The window is 10 meters above the ground. How high does the ball go above the ground? So, ang hinahanap dito is yung pagtaas niya pa. So, from here, so tataas pa yan until such time, maging zero yung kanyang velocity. Once na zero na yung velocity, bababa na yan, going to the ground. So, that is the analyzation of the free fall. Okay? So, tataas, magsa-stop, then marireach yung highest height, then going down. So, ito yun, yung H na to. Meron pa tayong sumobrang H yun. So, therefore, yung ating total H from the ground is equal to 10 plus H. So, hanapin natin yan. So, since dito tayo magsa-start, so, ito yung gawin nating reference line. So, therefore, VF squared is equal to VI squared plus 2AS. So, 0, ma-reach nyo yung 0, ma-reach nyo yung pinakamataas. So, that is equal to 5 squared plus 2 times. So, since pataas yung motion, nagde-decelerate siya ng 9.81 meters per second squared multiplied by yung height na nanaabot niya. So, what is the height equal to? O yung sumobra pa. So, 5 squared divided by 2 times 9.81. Which is equal to 1.27 meters. So, therefore, yung capital H natin is 10 plus yung ating 1.27 which is equal to 11.3 meters. Letter D. Okay, number 37. 37 tayo. A horizontal platform with a diameter of 6 meters revolves about its center at 20 revolutions per minute. So, hahanapin natin yung tangential speed or the linear velocity. In meters per second at the point at the edge of the platform. So, kapag edge ng platform, yun na yung mismo yung radius. So, V is equal to R omega. So, that is equal to 3 meters yung radius. So, divided by 2. So, this is 3. Divided by 2, R is equal to 3 meters. So, multiplied by omega, which is 20 revolutions per minute, multiplied by 2 pi radians. So, this is unitless na kasi yung radians. All over 1 revolution multiplied by 1 minute is 60 seconds. So, this is equal to, so makukuha natin dyan is 6.283 meters per second. Letter D. Direct substitution. Okay? Next, number 38. Given the velocities, what is the resultant acceleration of the velocity as a function of time? So, Vx. So, from the definition, A is equal to derivative of V with respect to T. I-derivative natin itong dalawang to. So, unahin mo natin yung X. So, shift integral of T raised to 4 minus T. So, at time T equal to 4. So, this is 2.55. So, yan yung in the X direction. Next, in the Y direction naman, so this will become 6 minus X raised to 3. So, 6 minus X raised to 3. So, this is negative 48. Ngayon, kunin na natin yung resultant ng acceleration. Ayan. So, kunin natin yung resultant ng acceleration, which is equal to A is equal to square root ng AX squared plus AY squared. So, A is equal to square root ng 255 squared plus negative 48 the quantity squared. So, kunin natin square root of 255 I should say, squared plus 48 squared. So, this is 259 or 260. Unit, wala. Letter A. Number 39, we have, which refers to the negligible body. So, negligible body, ibig sabihin walang weight. When compared to the distance involving regarding its motion. This is letter D. Regardless of the weight, the mass, this is particle. So, sa kinematics, particle, more on particles tayo. Okay. Last numbers, so last 10 numbers. So, baka wala ng time. So, papakita ko na lang yung yung solution. Okay, then, picturean nyo na lang. Dire-diretsuhin ko na ito mamaya. Sige. Starting natin number 40. Okay, number 40. Okay, picture po. Ang answer is apple. Next. Number 41. Ang answer po ay letter C, cat. Parallel access theorem. Number 42. Ang answer ay boy. Paki-picture po. Number 43, ang answer po is letter C, cat. Negative 30 Newton meter. Next po. Number 44, ang answer po ay letter A, apple. Number 45, ang answer po letter D, dog. 883 meters. Next, number 46, ang answer po ay boy. 7.8 seconds. Number 47, ang answer po ay letter A po. 84 seconds. Letter A, apple. Quick picture po. Next po. Number 48, 49, 50. Letter B, distributed force. Na take note ko na po kung ano yung mga dapat mga notes dito. Number 49, letter B. And number 50, letter C, cat. Boy, boy, cat. So that's it for this day. Salamat po at naway ligtas po tayo and keep safe po sa ating lahat.
Okay po, pwede nang mag-log out.